Hello, this is Sally from LaunchCode, and today we are going to continue working on our Hello ASP.NET application, and we're going to learn a little bit more about views. So to get started, we're just going to take a quick look at Home Controller here. We have two action methods that we want to keep an eye on. We have an action method called Index on line 21, and we have an action method called Privacy on line 26. Both of these action methods are returning a view. And we have seen one of these views before whenever we run our application. In my case, it's at localhost 5001. The application opens up and I see a beautiful welcome page. That welcome page is in fact a view, and it is the view being returned by the index action method in Home Controller. If we look over in the Solution Explorer in the Views directory, we have two subdirectories. We have Shared and we have Home. We'll cover what's going on with the shared subdirectory in a little bit, but we're going to actually look at Home now. So we see those two files inside the Home subdirectory. We have index.cshtml and privacy.cshtml. Those two files are the views for the corresponding action methods in Home Controller. So there are a couple naming conventions going on here that we want to keep in mind when we're working with views. Number one, each controller has a folder in the views directory that stores all of the views for that controller. So we have a folder in here called Home that stores all of the views for Home Controller. When we get started making our own views for Hello Controller in a little bit, we're going to need to make a folder called Hello for Hello Controller. And then the view is named after the action method that is returning that view. So index.cshtml is named after the index action method. And that is why on line 23 it just says return view, because the names match. If for any reason that naming convention of naming the view after the action method that is returning that view does not work for you, maybe, I want to name index.cshtml welcome.cshtml because it corresponds to the welcome page. You can do that, but then you need to add a string between the parentheses of the view method to specify the view that we need here. So if I did do that and I changed the name of index.cshtml to welcome.cshtml on line 23, I would just go here in between the parentheses, I'd add some quotation marks, and I would just write welcome. And that way when it comes time to navigate to localhost 5001, the corresponding view, which is now named welcome, is being returned by the index action method. So that is how you would do that. For the purpose of these lessons, we will be following the naming convention of just naming our views after our action methods. So I'm going to remove this string and we're going to head over to Hello Controller. So before we start coding today, I do want to draw your attention to a little refactor we did of Hello Controller. We refactored this controller so that index will respond to GET requests at the route localhost 5001/hello, and welcome will respond to post requests at the route localhost 5001/hello. This is going to simplify things for us a little bit since we're just going to focus on views for right now. So what we recommend you do here is commit any unsaved work that you have and create a new branch and attempt to refactor Hello Controller yourself. So if you do want to check out this refactor a little bit more before proceeding, feel free to pause the video right now and go check out the Views Starter branch on our GitHub repo, helloasp.net demo. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with views now. First thing we need to do is just make a folder inside of the Views directory. We're going to call it Hello, and that folder is going to hold all of the views we need for Hello Controller. So I just want to head over to Views, right-click, Add New Folder. We're calling it Hello. And then we're going to add a view to the folder we just made. We're going to call that view index, and we're going to take the HTML out of the index action method and put it in our view. So I just need to right click on Hello again, add new file. I want MVC view page here. Index is already the name for it. Perfect. We're following that naming convention. We're going to name our views after the action method. So here we go, an index view for the index action method. And then I'm going to head back over to Hello Controller, and I'm going to cut and paste that string of HTML out of the action method and into this view that I just made. So that should take no time. I just need to highlight everything, cut, and paste. Here it is, so I'm just going to clean it up and remove some of this extra C# syntax, like these semicolons, the quotation marks, and make sure that it is just the HTML form. Going to take out the string HTML line here and these final two quotation marks. All right. And here is our HTML form. This is all we need for our view. I just want to save this, and our view is now ready to go. I just need to do one more thing to Hello Controller to get this application back up and running, and that is change the return statement of our index action method. So I can remove these extra blank lines here. And instead of return content, we're just going to use return view. All right, we're going to save that file, run it, and check out our application. So if I just hit run here, and remember we did refactor the controller, so to see the result of this view, we'll need to navigate to localhost 5001/hello. This is the welcome page we were talking about earlier. This is one of the first views we ever saw. We didn't know we were looking at a view yet, but now we do. So we're going to navigate over to localhost 5001/hello to see our own view that we just made, that index.cshtml. And here is the form. It does look a little different because it has a header and a footer on it now that include those home and privacy statements. This is actually where that shared subdirectory comes in. So files in the shared subdirectory can be used by all of the other views. One of those files is called _layout. That _layout file contains the structure for the header and footer on this page, as well as it also includes Bootstrap. So our page does look a little nicer than if we were just using plain HTML. If you don't want to use _layout for any reason, you can do that and tell your view to not use _layout. We will go do that in a little bit, but first I want to make sure my view is still working now that I've moved all this information over into a view. So I'm just going to fill out my form here. I'm going to write Tilly. I want to hit greet me. Welcome to my app, Tilly. So our application still works. Whenever we fill out that form, the value of name is then passed over to that welcome method, which is then posting this beautiful string, welcome to my app, Tilly. What we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and stop the application and set layout to null and see that effect. So I'm just going to close out, stop, and then I'm going to go over to index.cshtml, and up here on line 5, I'm just going to use layout equals null. And by including that line of code in the view, what we are saying is that we don't want this particular view, index.cshtml, to use the layout page, so it won't have the header or footer and it won't have Bootstrap. To see the effect of this, I'm just going to save this view and rerun my application. I'm going to navigate over to localhost 5001/hello. And now we can see a plain HTML form. There is no header and footer. There is no Bootstrap. This is a very plain page. So that's what happens when we set layout equal to null and we don't make use of one of the layout pages. Just to make sure this application still works, I'm going to go ahead and fill out my form. I'm just going to use the name Tilly. And once I hit greet me, welcome to my app, Tilly. Great job, everyone, and we will see you in the next video.